My name is Uthman Aliba Logan, and I would like to present to you RAGtime Rhythms. And what RAGtime Rhythms is, it's an AI application that explores the intricate web of musical influences by utilizing a knowledge graph built from Arango DB. So the reason why I decided to work on this project specifically, because I think that music is very much connected, and some of the songs that we love today have been inspired by artists like 50, 10, 20, hundreds of years ago. So I think that the music that we enjoy today exists within the context of what come came before it. And it would have been interesting to explore a little bit more into that. One thing before I get into my Jupyter notebook, I wanted to explain was that I decided to use the Music Brains Postgres data dump. So Music Brains is essentially like an encyclopedia for music related content. So here I have the Taylor Swift page open, and it provides an overview of Taylor Swift, her releases, her recordings, different events that she's performed at, her relationships, aliases, tags, which we can consider those genres, and so on and so forth. And regularly they provide a data dump of their tables, which I thought would be an amazing start to build that graph. So let's get into it. So I'm going to move through this kind of quickly because some of it is like boilerplate. So this is like the database connection and the initial queries. And to go over the initial queries a bit briefly. So the idea is that I wanted to query some of the tables within Music Brains to really simulate relationships between an artist and a piece of work, or between two genres, or between an artist and another artist. So I can go through some of those queries. One of the things that I wanted to showcase to determine influence is like querying covers. So if artist A makes a song and artist B covers it, then I would say that artist A inspired artist B. So we can query the covers based off of that. Similar type of thinking with samples. If artist B samples artist A, then artist A is quite inspirational, right? So another thing here is I wanted to create a relationship between artists and genres, because I thought it would be cool to see how an artist may inspire or perform work in different genres. And then also wanted to showcase artists and collaboration. Artists may collaborate on different pieces of art, different albums, different songs. And I think one thing that was cool here that I learned about specific to the Music Brains table is a genre to genre connection, where a genre can be a subgenre of another genre, or it could be influenced by another genre, or it could be a fusion of two genres. So I thought it would be cool to capture how genres change through time. Let's scroll down. Created a graph with Network X and added their respective nodes and created those edges between them. So the relationships you can see here, whether it's inspired by or influenced by, or if, for example, the genre nodes are fusion. And then I persisted this information into Arango. And then, so let's go further down. So here's a quick display of the graph. I sampled about 1,000 nodes. And we can see here is, some of our favorite artists, if you can catch some of the names here, but, just wanted to sample it. And then here, I had some code to determine some of the most influential artists within the graph. And then top artists: love Mozart, Steve Blunt, Bruce Springsteen, DJ Deep, and Beethoven, some of the ones that I'm more familiar with. And then from the graph, I was able to derive and determine what were the most popular genres based off of the artist connections. And then here we see like a lot of artists are connected to jazz, they're connected to hip hop, rock, punk, pop, so on and so forth. And throughout the notebook, I included different methods to like gain a bit more insights of what we can do with the graph and the type of information the graph can give us. I have a genre subgraph. So based off of a specific genre, you can get the genres that are influenced by that genre and the genres that influence that genre. Here for hip hop, genres, urban contemporary gospel is influenced by hip hop, or Ty Tribbett is an artist is influenced by hip hop, and hip hop has been influenced by down tempo and boom bap in the past, which kind of checks out if you are familiar with like music history and the history of hip hop. And then as I go down, capturing information around sampled songs and sampling artists. And then I thought it'd be cool to generate subgraphs for artists. The green represents the pieces of work, the orange represents the different genres, and the blue represents people. This one is for Taylor Swift, and you can see the different kinds of collaborations she's done or the genres that she's associated with. So if you want to think of beach music, you would think of Taylor Swift. And then similar here, you're just getting more information around like artist metadata here. So this is Travis Scott, the number of collaborations, collaborating artists, and so on and so forth. And then here's a method to pretty much get the amount of artists associated with a certain genre. So like I have pop here. So pop has around almost 5,000 artists, and here's a couple sample of the artists. Genre subgraph for you. And then the main topic here is the AI chatbot. So for the AI chatbot, one of the things that I wanted to showcase was the tooling. So the way the tools work is that pretty much based off of the natural language, it turns it into an Arango query, and then it turns that query back into text. So here's some of the tools here showcase. So converts a natural language query into an optimized AQL query and executes it with fuzzy search. Here's another one where it's converting text to a network X algorithm. And just to go through, you utilize LangChain to create the chatbot. And let's go into our actual UI. So the cool thing about the UI is that I wanted to add 4 different tabs that talked about different spaces and areas within the music ecosystem. So a music explorer, which is like your general chatbot. And this is when I asked about electronic music, about what are the subgenres of pop. Let's ask it the question. So here's going to analyze the question and utilize the music knowledge graph. So it's going to turn my question into a query, and then based off of that, it's going to give it to the AI to create the answer. So let's give it a bit of time to determine that. So down here is some of what it outputs just to showcase some of it. Okay. Here we have teen pop, dance pop, electro pop, synth pop, indie pop rock, and K-pop. Here we have is the author influence. So you can search up an author, and then based off of that, it can show you the graph of influence that they have. For Beyonce, she belongs to the genre of contemporary R&B, funky breaks, hip hop, soul, progressive soul. And some of the people that she's worked with is Slickophonic, Shadi G, Sophia Cole, James Fletcher, and yeah. And then here, I think one of the cool things is because we're utilizing a graph, we can pick 2 artists and then show how music has evolved between the 2 artists. For example, if I was to pick here Taylor Swift, or for artist A, if we was to choose Beethoven, and then for artist B, we was to choose Taylor Swift, what would happen is it would look for both nodes within the graph and then determine the path within the graph. And then based off of that path, it would essentially try to create a historical narrative of how we go from Beethoven to Taylor Swift. A second, and then here it is. So just to read a little bit of it, the evolution of music genre. So following Beethoven, it mentions more composers, focusing on expressive melodies and rich harmonies. And this era emphasized personal emotion and storytelling, which would later influence popular music. We don't know it, but thanks to Beethoven and the Romantic era, we now have such expressive and personal music in today's age. Thank you.